G'day folks, and welcome to my channel. My name's Darren and I work all over Australia installing weather stations. This video is a record of my recent trip down to Wallerwarang, it's near Lithgow, to install a 10-metre weather station. I hope you enjoy some of the stunning scenery I encountered along the way. The bluff is a magnificent granite formation about 14 kilometres south of Tenterfield on the New England Highway. It was here that apparently the Bluff Rock Massacre occurred in 1844, where a group of Aboriginal warriors, but apparently even women and children, were thrown from the summit of the bluff after they attacked and killed a shepherd from Irby Station back in 1842. According to Aboriginal legend, a young baby survived by being held in the arms of her mother as she was thrown off the cliff. Pretty horrific, eh? And of course the next place many of you will recognise as Thunderbolt's Rock. It of course was the hideout of the notorious bushranger Captain Thunderbolt, or Fred Ward, but it was famous that it was here in 1863 that Captain Thunderbolt actually got shot in the knee by a couple of constables. He and fellow inmate Fred Britton had escaped from Cockatoo Island in Sydney, made their way out to the Rock, and whilst they were laying in wait for the mailman, a couple of constabularies crept up on them, surprised them, and in a shootout old Fred was shot in the knee. But somehow he managed to escape, but not for too long. 7 years later, over in Kentucky Creek, and you can see Kentucky Creek from the top of the Rock, he actually was shot and killed by a Constable Walker, and that was in the year 1870. Today, walking around the Rock, you can't help but imagine what it must have been like on the day of the shootout when those constables shot Fred in the knee. Our country sure is filled with some fascinating history. So here we've arrived at Wallerwarang, which is a pretty hard to pronounce word, but it's the old power station, and I'm building a weather station here because a company is going to start to demolish that old power station. Not all of it, but some of it. They're going to leave the nostalgic parts that the town enjoy. It's certainly a beautiful area, and as you will see later through the video, you'll see the weather station that I've constructed there, right next to the old one that I'm replacing. Later on too, you'll see the drone flying over the water. That's Lake Wallace on the Cox's River, and apparently some very good trout fishing in there. So that's something, if you're a keen fisherman, you might like to come up and try for yourself. Anyway, sit back and enjoy the rest of the video. Now, how's that for a beautiful view? That's the Caper Tree Valley, and this is Pearson's Lookout on the Castlereagh Highway, just south of Mudgee. This is actually the second largest enclosed canyon in the world. I tell you what, I got a bit of a fright too over this canyon, because as I sent hover out, I ended up losing signal. I didn't know whereabouts the drone was. It was just out there somewhere. So fortunately, I was able to press the return to home button, and he did like he should. He came all the way home. And in the meantime, he got some pretty amazing shots. What do you think? Is it all worth it? Just speaking for myself, I'd say absolutely. The next is the beautiful Windermere Dam, which is situated on the Cudgegong River, and it's about 30 kilometres upstream from Mudgee. Now this dam has a massive big wall, 67 metres high, and the lake is over 20 kilometres square. It certainly looked beautiful today as I was flying over it with all the clouds and mist in the air. It makes me want to bring my kayak down with me on my next trip and to throw a fishing line in and see what I catch. Anyway, another beautiful location. And finally, the beautiful grain silos at Wallerwarang. These were painted by a group of artists who call themselves the Brightsiders. And the overall concept of the mural is a small boy playing in the Wallerwarang Lagoon. He's got a paper boat made out of newspaper, and that newspaper that he made the boat out of is the remnants of a newspaper that was actually found in the old Wallerwarang jail. These silos are located at the little town of Wallerwarang, and that's 52 kilometres east of Gundawindi. So if you're ever in the area, be sure to drop out and check them out yourself. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed some of the lovely scenery that I saw, and if you like them, please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for the next one. See ya. Bye.